That's Anne Hathaway, who stars in Mother Mary, a beautifully shot film, beautifully acted film, but it is beautifully boring. Mother Mary comes in at 68% on the tomato meter, and it's probably going to be about the same for the audiences. Now, this comes from the director David Lowery, who did The Green Knight. So you know, and you saw from the trailers that this is going to be a beautifully shot film. The cinematography in this is the absolute standout. And, well, the acting as well. The acting is fairly done expertly by Anne Hathaway and Michaela Coel. The problem here is that the runtime for this movie comes in at a shocking 1 hour and 52 minutes, and it's a long hour and 52 minutes. The synopsis reads, long buried wounds rise to the surface when iconic pop star Mother Mary reunites with her estranged best friend and former costume designer Sam Enselm on the eve of her comeback performance. And you know that there's going to be beefs between these two. The film opens like that, and you can really buy into the fact that they are at odds with each other. And once you realize that, okay, she kind of got left behind as the costume uh, designer, and they've got these beefs, and in one act of desperation, she comes back to plead with her, I need to make this big performance, I need this dress by a certain amount of time. And I bought into all that. This movie has got a great setup for all of that stuff. And where a lot of people are going to fall off is probably in the second act when you realize, you know what? We've been in this one room for about 30 minutes, and it's just been them two talking, which is fine if you are a movie like the Christophers. Well, actually, it's very reminiscent of the Christophers, where it's just two people in a room talking. Oddly enough, with Michaela Coel, but it also had notes of Last Night in Soho, the only Edgar Wright film that I'll watch, because it's about dressmaking and stuff like that. So both of those films had an artistry about them where they're talking about their craft and stuff. So is the same here with Mother Mary, where it's an artist designing a dress, and her muse is this pop star, right? And it's like, okay, I like this formula. The costume designing here is also a great standout, because you see these multiple pieces where it's just like, Anne Hathaway is gorgeous. Just, yeah, I could see you totally buy in that. You could see that somebody would have her as their muse as they create these fantastic dresses. And there's a point in the film where I saw her in one of these dresses where, I was taken aback. I was like, wow. Um, I my eyes started to water up just at the magnificent beauty that is Anne Hathaway, and it's just like, okay, I can buy into this now that they're going to be beefing with each other, that they don't like each other. But the film draws out for such a long period of time in the second act. As I said, you're standing in that one room for 40 minutes. It's a clinic on acting from these two actresses, and it's captivating. For me, it was in the first time through. I don't think I'd ever want to sit down and watch this film again, because it's that kind of film where it's like, it's not going to end well for one of them, kind of thing, right? Maybe, I don't know. And then by the end, it gets perhaps a little too abstract. The concert scenes in this are fantastic. They've got a great opening act where they sell you with the concert stuff, and it's just like, I'm into this. I really really like this film. And then it goes into that long stuff, and then it gets into some weird abstract floating fabric kind of seance-y kind of stuff where I guess FKA Twigs shows up or something. I don't know. It's just, it gets really abstract, and it kind of merges into that realm of pretentiousness, and not in a good way. And remember Ari Aster, who did Beau is Afraid, and that for 3 hours we suffered through his pretentiousness, right? This is kind of like David Lowery's pretentiousness coming to the surface now, and it's like, I liked The Green Knight, I liked what you were doing for the most part of this film, but then you just kind of like, it made me want to watch Smile 2, where it's like, that was the fall of a pop star, right? And they were trying to emulate that. So maybe it's a bit like Smile 2 mixed with Last Night in Soho. That's what I have to say. That's what I'd have to say. So going back to the tomato meter here, let's just take a look. 68%, and try to get some sense out of all of this. I'm pulling up the critics here for people who liked it. Sean Chandler, a mesmerizing look at relationships, pain, and where art comes from. And that's what I'm talking about, where it's like, remember Last Night in Soho was about putting together fabrics and stuff like that. Christopher's is about art. It's about the paintings. And it's like, yeah, okay. I like that aspect of this, about putting the dress together. What's the motivation behind all of that stuff? That's very cool stuff. It's possible, likely even, that Mother Mary has rocks in its skull, but Lowery still understands how to conjure wonder and hold an audience in a death grip. That is true. The movie was long and it was boring at parts, but people in my audience didn't leave right away once the credits rolled. Like, yeah, there was a small little montage of a concert scene, but then after that, people didn't get up and leave. But they weren't clapping either. It was kind of like, we don't. It was a hard movie to digest, I would have to say. There are moments that pack an emotional punch, but there are also stretches where it feels like the film is circling its own ideas, unsure how to land them. And that's a perfect little way to articulate what's going on here. Let's go to the fans who are maybe a little bit more critical. Somebody who did like it. Truth be told, I'd give this a 4.5, but I'm going to all in to bring up the average. So somebody's sacrificing there. Then do we really need to know your opinion about it? Somebody else who really liked it. This one was one of the most artistic, beautiful, and metaphor-packed movies I've seen in a very long time. Yeah, the dialogue is very metaphor-heavy driven in the beginning, which is why I liked it, because you bought into it. But then as I said, it floundered. It's like it didn't know what it wanted to be about halfway through, and then it put in some weird mystical floating drapes, and it's like, this imagery was absolutely stunning. The music was also great. Yeah, the music was okay. Jack Antonoff worked with Mai Tay, so it's like, okay. But I also adore all the symbolization and imagery metaphors, and oh yeah. So let's get into some of the people who didn't like this film. Honestly, I don't know what was going on the whole time. However, yeah. If you're not paying attention to the dialogue, and as I said, you're watching just two people standing in a room for the better part of 40 minutes, then you're going to be tough. It's going to be a tough watch. Very disappointed and confused. A mess of a movie. The synopsis description was misleading. I would give this 0 stars if I could. What a waste of talent. No, I wouldn't go that far. But as I said, it's not the most palatable movie. It's not the most digestible movie. But I still found myself at the end of the day kind of going, well, you know what? I liked that opening. I liked the acting. I like the set design. I like the costume design. I like the cinematography. Where did I end up on this movie at the end of the day? Well, let's pull up my score sheet and I'll let you know. Acting, directing, and story out of a possible 2 points each. Acting, I gave a full 2 points because of Anne Hathaway, Michaela, Coel. Directing is where I really took the hits. Well, the execution of the technical aspects was there. Like, yeah, so it was beautifully shot. Everything was meticulously put together. The story, as interesting as it was, it lost me with a little bit of the mystical stuff towards the end, where it's kind of like, what are we watching here? Okay, it's a little bit like Black Swan. Are we going to go in the direction of Black Swan here? I don't know. Cinematography, full point. Score, full point. Watchability factor. If you are a fan of David Lowery movies, you'll check this out. Anne Hathaway fans, I'd check this out as well. It just allows her to show you her acting abilities. The shocking thing out of it is that she wasn't singing for some reason. They dubbed her, I think, for some really weird. Yeah, it was Charlie XCX. I don't know. It was really, I don't know why they did that. 7.5 out of 10 for Mother Mary. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains.